Hello, everyone. I'd like to talk to you today about near death experiences. I see a lot of videos, I hear a lot of people that talk about having near death experiences, listening to other people that have near death experiences. Um, and most of the people that talk about near death experiences and, and, and kind of look into them deeper and follow them, a lot of them are not Christian. There are some Christian, but they could be spiritual, they could be somewhat Christian, but kind of going back and forth, not really understanding Christianity, not understanding God. And they think that people could die, experience something with God, and then come back to this world, like a near death experience. But if you understand who God is and how He operates, it doesn't make sense that God would be allowing people to die and then say, "Oh no, let me send you back." It doesn't really make sense. Are the people dying having advantage over people that didn't have a near death experience and now they know something more than we do to to everybody else that didn't experience it? That's kind of not fair because they didn't get a chance to see God, and God purposely doesn't show Himself, doesn't give you those advantages. He gives you just enough to believe in God with your mind, intellectually understand who God is, understand Jesus, study history. We have all the information we need in front of us to either believe in God or not believe in God. It's not 100%. None of it says, oh, yes, 100% I believe in God. I don't believe in God 100%. I believe in God 99.99999 until I see Him, then I'll get to 100%. But now I could always say that if new evidence comes out, then that could change my mind towards, is there a God, isn't there a God? Now I know that that evidence doesn't exist because it still hasn't been found, and I don't think it's going to be found because it looks to me like God is who He says He is, and that new evidence is not coming. Some people are waiting for it, so they don't believe in God until they see it. But at this point, I'm going to examine the evidence. I'm going to say, well, here's all the evidence to God, and we can always discuss the evidence. And there's tons of books that you can read about evidence for God, that'll outline in detail the case for God. But that evidence does exist, and we're going to go for what's true, and that evidence sounds to be true. But people that have near death experiences cannot be proven. They're very much like the spiritual people that do the meditation, that contact that realm of spirituality. We don't know if it's real or not, if it happened. Now, we can't say that it can't happen because we know there's a spiritual world. But the people that say they've experienced it, they could either be hallucinating, they could be lying, they could be thinking that they're doing this because they wanted it to happen. Um, there's a lot of reasons why people would claim to have a near death experience. So I would stay away from that type of information because I think it's going to lead you down the wrong path. And I know a few people that were shaky on their Christianity, started getting into near death experiences, watching videos, and then came closer to God. But really, their foundation was very weak when they came to God that way because it didn't line up with God Himself. It lined up with some spiritual world, thinking that God is taking people and then sending them back. It doesn't line up. So we have to line up these stories with reality, with God, and not fall for every trick that is here in the world. And don't forget one thing, that there's many paths away from God, but only one way to God. So the thinking about near-death experiences is just one more path away from God, and the further you go down that road, the further you go away from God. So we have to line ourselves right back to God and go to the path toward Jesus, and nothing else should make us go a different direction. Spirituality, near-death experiences, reincarnation, all these other things that you could try to tie back to God, but really there is no real way to tie them. It's all in your mind. So just be very careful about people that believe in near-death experiences. Thank you.